to the Ungovernables, the captain's crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. Happy to be here live with you again. It's been a long time since we have been live. It's been a very long time. And
yes, hello.
You know, here's the thing. Didn't even have to go on this trip. Oh, man. Didn't even have to go. It's all right. It's okay. Lessons were learned. And what a disaster from, well, especially towards the back end of that trip, by the way, where I'm in this hotel and I guess the room, my next door neighbor decided it was time, what was it, Thursday night, had a flight home Friday morning.
Yeah.
Next door neighbor decided it was time to get on the phone and scream at some lady about child support. What you mean? I never did that. And then I hear him in the morning throwing up. And I'm like, all right, well, at least whatever drugs that dude was on, at least he didn't try and run through the wall or anything, right? So what a mess. It's good to see Bad Moon back after his 10-month vacation. That's very good. Welcome back.
Wow, he decided to
our
show
mayor.
up.
Welcome back. We were hitting really good numbers. We hit a 900 a few times in Bad Moon's absence. So
we did it because you weren't here.
You're right.
In spite of you.
They all did it in spite of Bad Moon.
Oh, by the way, Sean has the fanciest new setup.
I've got a new...
You guys can't see it.
I've got a new table. Looks like something that came out of Star Wars. I've got a new mic boom, which is really cool, and made a few changes. So we did that. Now, obviously, daylight. What is it? Daylight savings. Daylight. Is this?
Don't ask me.
You know what I call it? Daylight stupid time. Because now we have less light late in the day.
It pisses me off.
It's like, yesterday it was 5 o'clock. I thought it was 8 o'clock. Out of nowhere. NASCAR playoffs. NASCAR season ended yesterday. Very sad. I'm very sad about it. And very sad about how the race ended. Not only did my driver not win, but the other guy that I wanted to win, Denny Hamlin, got robbed at the end because his crew chief is an idiot, pitting with the whatever. That's for Saturday. We'll talk to Jimmy with that on the Rumble Rundown. With the Jets did not lose 2 weeks in a row, which was also very nice. Big elections taking place tomorrow. Big elections taking place tomorrow in New Jersey, in California, in New York City. Where else? In Virginia and several other states across the country. It is election day. Let's see. I'm going to make some predictions tonight. I'll make some prediction or this afternoon, this morning, if I can get the times right. I'll make some predictions. We'll go into some of that as well. We've got updates about Arctic frost. The FBI stopped what looked to be an Islamic terror plot in Michigan over the week. Last week, towards the tail end of last week, we got another drug boat that the United States military has taken care of. So all sorts of good things, big developments. Oh, I had a couple of engagement farmers yesterday who hate Jews decided they were going to block me. Good. Now I don't show up, or their nonsense doesn't show up for me, which is quite exciting. Because I called them out on being an engagement. I said, you're an engagement farmer. Every post you post says who else or who agrees. I can't. To me, I can't stand it. So we have all of that to get to and more. Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. Oh, by the way. New hat, obviously, since racing season, NASCAR season is over. So the William Byron hat goes off. The Islanders hat goes on today because, they've been a surprising bunch. They've been a surprising team this year thus far. And this Matthew Schaefer they picked with the first overall pick looks like an absolute gem. So we will be in full hockey mode. Obviously, football season for me is over because I'm a Jets fan. All right, let's get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms, OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. Exciting news from the farm. Enjoy 20% off right now with the code Sean, SHAWN, during their end of October sale. No, October is over. I'm sorry. This is where I'm at. I'm very, very silly. October is over. I'm still stuck in October because that's the last time we did a live show. It was,
No, it's my birth month.
It's your birth. Oh, that's right.
We get to celebrate every
That's
day.
right. It's the birth month.
OFP Farms should come out with a Brennan box.
OFP Farms should come out with a Brennan box. Yes, that would be fun. OFP Farms is thrilled to announce, folks, that they have celebrated 11 wonderful years up until this date. So OFP Farms is, they had their big October promotion. Hopefully you got in while the getting was good, because now I implore you to explore the wonderful quality of Faith Farm and Freedom products with a special limited time 15% discount on your entire purchase. You can take a peek at the lineup from OFP Farms. They are America's go-to soap company, famous for natural ingredients, the skin-loving perks of tallow and goat milk, and a big heart for farm-to-family skincare. Whether you're looking for gentle skincare or thoughtful gifts, these products bring together expert care and good values to make your daily routine better. Do not miss this chance to enjoy premium products that support your health and ethical choices for the entire family. Go to OFPFarms.com. It's OFPFarms.com, Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. Use the promo code Sean to get 15% off of stuff like this Revolution soap. It smells great. Oh, it's so nice. I'm going to smell it twice. OFPFarms.com. By the way, it's winter. Well, it's almost winter. It's fall. It's winter in about, a month and a half, right? A month and a half, we get winter time. This year, Goat Kisses Lip Balm, I think my favorite winter flavor, I classify it as a winter flavor. I don't think they do that, but I classify it as a winter flavor, is the eucalyptus. I love the eucalyptus. It's cooling. It feels good. So that is the eucalyptus right there. OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com for 15% off. Use the promo code Sean, SHAWN, OFPFarms.com. It's Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. All right. Let us move into these elections tomorrow. Look, you know what I say all the time. Nancy Pelosi's teeth going a little crazy over there.
Oh, Nancy.
You know, we got
settle down, Nancy.
I got the Trump. I haven't used this in a while. This is the. Let me just tell you about it. Right? It's a tremendous. We should do this more often, shouldn't we? Look at that. That actually looks kind of funny. We should put it in front. We should put it in front of him. Look, we're dealing with a lot of stupid people, including Denny Hamlin's crew chief for taking 4 tires. He pits on the lead. He had the greatest car. He pit on the lead. All right. Enough for the games. We have major election news that we have to get to. Major election news that we've got to get to, right? So there are big time elections taking place tomorrow. And some of the big national ones that we've been talking about were Virginia and California, right? So not California, my gosh, Virginia, New Jersey. New York City is in there. We could talk about New York City. We will talk a little bit about New York City. You guys know, and I've been saying this since June, which way I think New York City is going to go. It's not a bold prediction. I will make predictions right now based on New Jersey and Virginia polling. Some people may not like it. I like to keep it real. I'm not this person who feeds you hopium, right? I tell you what you need to do to get the job done, but if I think the job's not going to get done, I may tell you I don't think the job's going to get done. Let's start in New Jersey right now. Jack Ciattarelli. You know, he wasn't my pick in the primary, but he's the guy. It's either him or you do, or you go to Mikie Sherrill, who is essentially Phil Murphy in a dress. Assuming Phil Murphy himself doesn't wear dresses, I think he may. But here you go. Jack Ciattarelli virtually tied with Mikie Sherrill in New Jersey, according to Atlas Intel. I know everyone's going to say the polls are fake. I get it. I'm not saying that I place my stock in any one particular pollster or that I would bet the farm on the polls, but I do use the polls as a means of coming up with an opinion and a prediction on these elections. Why? Because it's the only data that we have. It's the only data that we have. That being said, I'm going to tell you, I don't think there's a really pretty picture here in New Jersey, right? I don't think there's a really pretty picture. And there's kind of two sets of pollsters, right? There's these pollsters that have Sherrill with a pretty big lead and pollsters that have Sherrill with a rather narrow lead. Let's take a look right here. Let's take a look at these polls. I'm going to go on RCP. We're in Real Clear Politics. We'll take a look at the aggregation of polls, the last, 8 or 9 or so polls of what New Jersey looks like. All right? Look, I'm not going to say it's a great picture. It's also not doom and gloom. And these numbers don't look as bad as they look in Virginia, which, I mean, if you were to ask me, Virginia's more purple than New Jersey, but New Jersey's acting like a swing state now. Look at this. Here's the polls. Here's the aggregate, the last couple polls from the middle of October. Trafalgar had Sherrill +1, but we know Trafalgar tends to skew to the right. We know that. So don't say that. No, but it's true. Trafalgar tends to skew to the right, as does coefficient. Coefficient tries to skew to the right. Now, those polls are within the margin of error, finding Sherrill up 1 point. Qantas Insights, another one that tends to skew right, isn't as much of a rightward-leaning pollster as Trafalgar is. Qantas Insights, Sherrill +3. That's towards the end of October. Quinnipiac, that one skews to the left. Okay, but Quinnipiac was one of the, and this was a couple of years ago at this point, 3 years ago at this point, but Quinnipiac was one of the pollsters that found Lee Zeldin within striking distance of Kathy Hochul. When I put all my predictions together and started writing out equations by hand of what Lee Zeldin would need to win, I used a lot of Quinnipiac's polling and actually delivered me results within 100,000 votes of each other, which sounds like a lot, but in New York, it's not a lot. It's really a percentage point or two. Quinnipiac has Sherrill up 7, end of October. Suffolk University, margin of error of 4.4 points, Sherrill up 4. So right around that margin of error again. The Hill, Emerson. Now, I like Emerson. I think Emerson is generally reliable. Emerson and The Hill have Sherrill up 2. Fox News. I don't think Fox News does particularly good polling. I really don't. And for some strange reason, they tend to skew to the left every time. I don't know why, but I've noticed that Fox News, closer to elections, they give these Democrats a massive, massive advantage. I also want to point out on this Fox News poll, the dates and the amount of likely voters that they polled. Okay, 956, very small sample size, so it leads to those kind of larger margins. Atlas Intel, this is the one we're going to take a look at right here. You see it on your screen? Come on. You see it on your screen, Atlas Intel? Atlas Intel is 2024's most accurate pollster, okay? Atlas Intel, 2024's most accurate pollster, has Sherrill +1, a margin of error of 2. Also, the largest sample size of this list, 1639. What does LV mean? Brennan, do you know what LV means when they say they sampled 1639 LV?
Louis Vuitton. That's all I know. I don't know. No.
Likely voters. This is why we tell you all the time, if you are a likely voter, vote early. But it's going to give the Democrats what they need to cheat. It's going to give them the exact numbers. If that theory was true, Donald Trump would have lost in 2024. He didn't lose in 2024. He is our president. LV stands for likely voters, meaning those pollsters, and it's funny because I see a lot of people go, I've never been polled. All polls are fake. Brennan, I get polled like all the time.
Yeah, he got polled the other day.
I got polled the other day on the phone. I get text polls at least once a week now. And it's not even things happening necessarily in our state. National polling, etc. I also got polled on some statewide stuff not too long ago. Mm-hmm. But likely voters, which means the pollsters are going after people like me, like you. You may not have been polled, but people who have the voting history and tendencies of you are being polled. It is happening. You may think it's not happening. It happens to me. I get polled a lot. Okay? I know a lot of people say, I've never been polled, therefore there is no such thing as a poll. No, that's not true. The polls are real. I have been polled by several different pollsters, and this is going back years. Mm-hmm. I got polls in 2022. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm saying they are real. They do collect data. Do they have an agenda? Yes, they have an agenda. Many polls have an agenda. Does that mean that they're completely fake and the data that they got isn't real? No, that's not true either. So, likely voters, these pollsters, you know how the pollsters wind up being wrong? More unlikely voters come out than they thought. That's how the pollsters wind up being wrong, right? Because they're polling likely voters. What's the point of polling an unlikely voter? If the person's unlikely to vote, they don't really need to be giving input into these polls, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So the pollsters are polling likely voters. If you're likely voters, if you're on the Ciattarelli campaign, the Winsome Earl Sears campaign, ballot Prop 50 in California, Zoran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa in New York, and anywhere else that's having an election, or if it's a presidential election, or if it's a midterm election, if you're likely voters, get their votes banked before Election Day. Let's say 10 days before Election Day. Your names come off of the list for the campaigns that you voted for to contact, because they get this data real time and they find out, okay, Brennan voted yesterday, Sean voted yesterday, Bad Moon voted yesterday. We don't have to call them anymore. I don't want those campaigns calling me. Why? Why do you want it to? Because I'm going to vote. Why waste time on me? I'm going to vote, but they don't know that until I voted. So I want to give them as much notice that I have voted so that those resources that are devoted to contacting me, who's going to vote anyway, wind up contacting an unlikely voter who will shock the polls and shock the entire system. Again, if it were up to me and I could swing this gavel and I could say, table didn't fall apart after banging the hat, so that's good.
That's good.
That means I screwed everything in nice, okay? If I bang this gavel, if I could, and say 1 day of voting, paper ballots, no machines, no absentee ballots unless you have a documented excuse, medical reason, or you're overseas fighting for, our country or anything like that, right? And if I could bang this and make that happen, I would.
Yeah.
I can't. So I'm going to be playing by the rules that we've been given, right? I'm going to play by the rules that we've been given. This is strategy. Listen, folks. This is strategy. I know we don't like doing things outside of the norm. I know it feels dirty to go early vote. Last year, on the first day of early voting in Tennessee, Brennan and I voted. And I wore that damn sticker on the front of my hat until election night. I did. I wore it until saying, everyone, I voted. And it was a MAGA hat. Okay? I took you couldn't wear the hat in the place, came out, stuck the sticker right on the brim of the hat, on the backside of the hat. Everyone knew I voted. I even stuck it and kept it stuck on with tape, like Scotch tape, just so everyone knew I voted. Don't tell me to vote. I voted. Go tell that person who has no idea there's an election coming to vote. They go, oh, there's an election? Wow, I'm going to go vote. That's a +1 that wasn't baked into what these polls and pollsters and these predictions and folks were thinking about. New Jersey. Let's take a look at this polling picture again. It's close. It's close. Okay? I look at Atlas Intel with a margin of error of 2 points. They are the most accurate pollster of 2024. Are they perfect? No. Are they perfect? No. But are they the most reliable when compared to the rest of them? Yes. Atlas Intel has this thing at essentially a dead heat. Essentially a dead heat. There's another poll that I thought was very interesting coming out of New Jersey. And this comes from, let's see, this is Atlas Intel as well. This is one of those splits. They ask you your race and your gender and all that stuff at the end of the poll because it gives them the demographic splits, which are fascinating numbers to jump into if you're a numbers geek like I am with these things. Now, if this happens, I think Ciattarelli will win. Among black voters in New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli has a 20-point advantage. That's huge. That's massive. And this poll is 3 days old. Among black voters, look at this. Among black voters, Ciattarelli's winning 60-40. Now, how many black voters? Were these urban black voters? Were these rural black voters? Some of these things matter. But a 20-point advantage, if that holds, I don't see a way that Ciattarelli loses this race. However, it's only one poll. It's Atlas Intel. They are the most accurate pollster. So we have things on the good side of the base. It's only one. But they're the most accurate pollster in the most recent election cycle, right? What do I think is going to happen in New Jersey? What do I think is going to happen in New Jersey based off of this? Based off of this and based off of the polling spread right here on Real Clear Politics. What do I think is going to happen in New Jersey? I'm going to be real with you right now. I don't know. I think it's going to be super close. But what do I think is going to happen? I think the Democrats going to win in New Jersey. Because I don't think enough Republicans have changed their behavior. I don't think there's enough voters who have abandoned the Trump or bust mindset. And this is something that pollsters don't pick up on. This is simply having been in the space, having been in the field since 2020, knowing the way people are. I don't think enough people, because remember, Jersey did not go red during the 2024 election, but it was close, within 5 points. I don't think enough people who vote Republican or MAGA voters who are motivated to vote for Trump are ready to vote when Trump is not on the ballot or motivated to vote when Trump is not on the ballot. So I think Sherrill is going to win by a very slim margin, but I think Mikie Sherrill is going to win. I do. I'm so sorry to say it. And that's not me in Jersey. Prove me wrong, New Jersey. Prove me wrong. I think this is the problem that we're facing. It's an off year. It's an off year election. It is a problem for Republicans, always has been, to be motivated when Trump is not on the ballot. It's been an issue. I think it's going to be close. And I'll tell you what, the silver lining of a close loss for Jack Ciattarelli, Jersey is in play in 2028 regardless. I hope I'm wrong. Jack Ciattarelli came very close in 2021. He lost after some strange midnight ballots came in. Remember that. He lost by like 2 points in 2021 to Phil Murphy. The state has become redder since then. Pressler has been out there. Turning Point has been out there. A lot of boots on the ground effort in New Jersey. I just don't know. And I fear that history is going to repeat itself, that Republicans outside of presidential elections get lazy, they get complacent. Okay, Trump won, we're good. Hope that's not the case. I hope Ciattarelli wins. I really do. I don't think it's going to happen. But I will say this. I'm like 51-49. I think Sherrill's going to win by a point or two. 51-49, right? Is where I am. I'm not saying I'm betting money that Jack Ciattarelli is going to lose or that Sherrill's going to win. I'm just saying I think based off of how Republican voters behave in these off-year elections that not enough are going to come out because they don't know or they don't care. They disengage. That's the problem. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. And maybe this is me kind of expecting the worst and hoping for the best. That's what it is, like the Jet fan in me. All right, Let's move on to Virginia. What?
Wait, because we're having a Mo meltdown.
Why is there a Mo surrection?
Because Thursday and Friday, I believe both days, we were supposed to get Mo honkings, and you weren't here to honk Mo. So you have to honk Mo because we're having meltdowns.
Thursday, Friday. There you go.
Okay. Oh, and we already are almost to 900 right now.
Ho!
So
Monday. There it is. It's Mo Monday.
Whoa.
Oh, he almost took it off. There it is. Bad Moon's here. He's like, I'm going to leave again. All right, here we go.
That was an extra.
Wow. All right. Let's move on to Virginia.
Okay.
Because I just sang the praises, right, of Atlas Intel. Did I not? I said Atlas Intel, the number one pollster in 2024. Virginia, which traditionally has been a closer state than New Jersey, but perhaps things are shifting. Things don't look good in Virginia for Winsome Earl Sears. Here's the latest polling spread on Real Clear Politics. Atlas Intel. So I'm not looking at the Hill and Emerson. I like Emerson. I like the Hill. But look, this is a small sample size. So you have these very small sample sizes here. Again, Atlas with the largest sample size in this whole group. Spanberger +9. That doesn't mean this race is over. That doesn't mean there can't be surprises. That means that I think New Jersey will be a closer race than Virginia. Sticking with Atlas Intel and new predictions and projections. New York City. This is very interesting. Atlas Intel, the latest pollster in New York City, and the most accurate pollster, again, of 2024, and the largest sample size, 1,587, almost 1,600 likely voters in New York City. Margin of error, 3 points. Has Mamdani +7. However, look at this here. Mamdani with his lowest support number in any of these polls coming at the last second from Atlas Intel. Is this a trend? Is this indicative that he doesn't have as much support as many people think? I don't know. Remains to be seen. But Cuomo trailing by 7 points. Look at Sliwa with 24 points. Now, I know everyone's like, wow, Sliwa should drop out. No, he shouldn't. If anything, Cuomo should drop out. Sliwa won his primary. Yes, he ran unopposed. Cuomo lost his primary. Atlas Intel finding a 7-point spread. Now, that is very interesting when you look at it versus all of these other numbers. Mamdani 25, Mamdani 16, 16, 10, 10, 15, 18. But again, look at these smaller sample sizes. Okay? And that sometimes leads to those larger margins. Okay? Because each vote kind of means more and all of that. So, what will that race look like? Is Cuomo actually surging? Is Sliwa actually surging? The bottom line here is there's only one poll, as you can see on your screen. There's only one poll in the New York City race that gives Mamdani a majority. And that's the Hill Emerson with 50. The rest of them has Mamdani at a minority. So anything is possible in those in that race. Although, I'm going to say again, and Polymarket says the same thing, upwards of 90% chance that Zohran Mamdani is the next mayor of New York City. Also tomorrow, anybody here in California? Do we have any Cali peeps in our chat?
Definitely do.
I've been dreaming about the West Coast. Anybody?
Wow, flashback.
Anybody? Oh, by the way, Beekeepers Natural. We found out the other day, surprise, surprise, they're actually a sponsor of LFA TV.
We've been using them for years.
Pick this
We had
stuff up.
No idea.
It's great for your throat. Anybody here from California? It's early for you guys out there in California, right? It's early for you guys out here in California. Any Cali people? I've been dreaming about the West Coast.
I've been dreaming.
All right, Cali. Freedom from McGroin is in Cali. Jedi Legend Ryu. Jedi. Sith. Jedi. Right? All right. California. Jedi's from California. Freedom's from California. Conservative home state is California, but it's an escape, a refugee, an asylum seeker. So Jedi Legend Ryu. Yes. Jedi Legend Ryu from California. All right. Keith Day 777. California. Dream of Californication. Yvonne Sarr, California. Mammohawk, California. Dolphin Girl, California. H.R. Shaw, Sacramento. Look at that. All right. So we got some Calis. It's me. Hi. From California. Tomorrow, Prop 50. Prop 50, which is the redistricting provision that Gavin Newsom is trying to push through. That's on the ballot tomorrow. I don't have a good feeling about that either. I have a feeling that's going to pass. No bueno. But get out all your friends and vote down Prop 50 because that will make it difficult for there we go. Gavin Newsom to gerrymander California into oblivion. Okay? No on Prop 50. Look at that. How about everybody? Bakersfield. That's Kevin McCarthy's area. You know who else is in Bakersfield, California? Probably Marjorie Taylor Greene because under the table.
Well, look at all this mo honking.
We got a lot of mo honking right there. No on Prop 50. Everybody in the chat. No on Prop 50. Vote Prop 50 down. All right. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Okay.
Speaking of mo honking real fast, we're almost to 900.
All
if
right.
we get to 1,000,
Clover.
Clover comes in.
Clover
so
comes
if you guys
in.
want to see our cat Clover, you just have to a few more. You got to push the button.
That's right.
That's not that hard to do.
It's just a few more. I mean, I think
Clover always
I have
wants
a
to come
feeling
in
we're going to get there today.
I think we are.
I think we're going to get there.
Just so you guys know.
Just so you guys, just so y'all's know.
Use guys.
Yo guys. All right. Let's take a quick break. We got to get to a word from our amazing friends over at where? OldGloryBank.com. OldGloryBank.com. This is your favorite president. You know all about it. This is your favorite president. Donald J. Trump. They call me 47. They call me the king. Right? Where's my crown? They call me King Donald. Oh, I have the headphones on. I forgot. They call me King Donald. Look at that. I have a beautiful crown. This is your favorite king and your favorite president, Donald J. Trump. And I'm here to tell you about Old Glory Bank. They're the premier bank for faith and freedom. You've heard me talk about how the big crooked banks debanked me. You know, a beautiful first lady. She's a beautiful person following the rigged election of 2020. Thankfully, there's a bank that loves your favorite president as much as I love my favorite president. Old Glory Bank. They don't debank Americans who love their country and honor the Constitution. That is right. You've heard me talk about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is America's best online bank that serves its customers and small businesses in all 50 states. I'm a customer. My wife is a customer. They have everything that you need to bank online, including free accounts, free overdraft protection, early direct deposit, home loans, VA loans, and business loans. That is why Old Glory Bank quickly grew from $10 million to over $225 million in deposits. Your money is your business, folks. I'm not even asking you to buy anything, right? You know, just go to oldglorybank.com, set up a free account, fund it, and start using it. I love it. I've had a great time with Old Glory Bank. We are everything today that we deal with. Brennan just ordered a pair of shoes. The wrong pair of shoes got here, right?
Oh, I mean, that made me mad.
Let me tell you, right? So everything is plagued with issues these days. Everything, except this. And when we had the CEO on the show, I was like, I have a feeling this is going to go very smoothly. And it did. You can set up your account in minutes. Free account in minutes at oldglorybank.com. Oldglorybank.com. If you're down with OGB, set up an Old Glory Bank account today. That's oldglorybank.com. Oldglorybank.com. Free accounts. Set it up like this very quickly. And they get everything right first try. And if not, I mean, we're going to have the CEO on the show this month. I'm going to tell you, if they don't, you could reach him. He's a great guy, Mike Ringer. We love him. All right. Another quick break and a word from our friends over at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about gold and silver. When I was a kid, I always wondered what Fort Knox must look like. And when I was a kid, I always envisioned that when you would walk into Fort Knox, you would see just gold everywhere, literally raining gold, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Unfortunately, as a grown-up, I don't have that kind of imagination anymore, and I don't even have that much trust that Fort Knox has the 5,000 tons of gold that we're supposed to have there. Meaning that decades ago, we went off the gold standard in this country, which took the value of our dollar down to just mere pennies. And since our federal government doesn't want to go back to a gold standard currency, then it's time to us to take matters into our own hands. Have you ever thought about buying gold and silver? Have you ever thought about taking portions of your IRA or your 401k or your nest egg or your savings and putting it into gold and silver, either all or a portion of it? Have you ever wanted to purchase silver like this in bullion or premium? I know I do. And I know I wanted to take matters back into my own hands, which is why I have worked with Golden Crest Metals to do that. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA is going to be your go-to, absolutely transparent and trusted partner. Now, you can go to that website or you can call 888-308-4202. And what the good thing about this is they're going to guide you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the answers to your questions. And there's going to be no hidden fees. It's completely transparent. No hidden fees. No pressure, no surprise markups whatsoever. Clients get to see everything before they purchase. They've even agreed to lower the minimum investment to the LFA audience in order to make sure that everybody has access to this. Free IRA storage, free insured shipping, and a full range of precious metals from gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And if it's easier for you to just maybe click a QR code, well, guess what? We've got that available for you too. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Click this QR code on your screen and it'll take you right there. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. Again, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA, or call 888-308-4202 today to reach these guys. They're going to be a great partner for you, just as they have been for me, and we absolutely recommend here at LFA TV, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Thank you, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Thank you, Jeremy Harrell. And we've hit Magamo time. So we have the huge hedgehog now. How many are we away from? Whoa, what the heck? There. Oh, whoa. All right. Sit down. Now, how many are we away from Clover?
Let me see. Hold on.
Let's see if she's going to get an update. We're getting a Clover
We
update.
got 917 in there. So what is that?
83.
Okay.
We need 83, folks. If you want to see Clover, that's the cat. The best cat. The greatest cat. The history of the world. Check it out. Rumble.com/LFA TV if you're watching over on YouTube. Oh, your stream's over. I probably should